up, everybody? It's your 5-star realtor, Joshua Ingram, partnered with Page Properties team, brokered by EXP. Listen here, it's a brand new episode on a brand new podcast called the Dream Builders Podcast. We have a special guest, Miss Monica Everett. How you doing?
I am outstanding.
Doing good. She is an Air Force veteran and a retirement planner. Also, we have the man himself, my co-host and partner, Bradford Page with Page Properties team.
Afternoon, Joshua. How are you?
Man, I'm living the dream one day at a time. So, being that you are part of Primerica, so can you tell us what Primerica is and what do you do for them?
Yes. Primerica is a financial services company, and what we do, we've been around since 1971. What we do is we teach middle-income families how to become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. And how we do that is by offering complimentary financial plans. And they're very comprehensive, so it focuses on showing you exactly where you are financially and with a game plan put together where you want to go based on your goals and dreams. So it shows you where you can find and free up money to accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself and your family.
That's awesome.
So we do that through life insurance, term life insurance. We do that through investing and through debt elimination. Those are the three.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically you help veterans.
I help
Anybody.
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 Middle income families.
Really? Okay, so anybody, you help them save money and prepare for retirement. And how long you been doing that for?
February will be 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have.
And you know, start thinking about retirement, Joshua. You're only 24.
Yeah, you're right.
But when is it too early to start planning retirement?
I started my daughter's IRA when she was 16 because she started working at the time there was a little game. It was kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese, but not a Chuck E. Cheese. And she started working there, and because she had a job, she had earned income, she can start an IRA. So I showed her what she could do if she did $25 a month until she was 40, and she was hooked. She was sold.
What is the number if you say $25?
$25 a month until you're 40. At 16, it was about $1.2 million. Wow. Something along those lines. And and that was steadily increasing over time. So, and of course, let me preface this by saying there are no guarantees because I am not Bernie Madoff. I'm not trying to go to prison. I'm too cute. So I'm not. There are no guarantees in investing. But what we do is look at how things have performed in the past to kind of give you a gauge. But long-term systematic investing has been the best way to plan for retirement for the average family.
Okay. So basically, if you had to, let's see. So what happened if someone dies, if they're the breadwinner? Because you said you're planning for retirement.
Yeah.
But what happened if someone?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
So,
and I've dealt with this in 20 years, obviously. Life insurance is very, very necessary for middle-income families who don't have enough money saved. And life insurance is there to replace your income if somebody should die. Now, when we were raised that the kids got life insurance because you just got life insurance for the kids, and that's what the grandparents did. But what we didn't recognize was that life insurance is to replace an income. Because if you pass away, so does the income, like you just said. So that's what life insurance is for. And life insurance is to replace your income or to pay off a mortgage, pay off bills. Because what we learned was that people that filed bankruptcy a long time ago, they weren't filing because they were not prepared. They were filing because a breadwinner passed away. So having life insurance is very necessary while you have responsibilities like raising children and things of that nature. But if you have money saved towards the end of your, when you're in retirement, hopefully you get to that point and you're saving money, actually your need for life insurance decreases. So we teach people how to actually get out of the life insurance game altogether. Because let me ask you a question. If you hit the lotto today and hit it for just say $10 million, Would you run out and buy a $250,000 life insurance policy?
I would not.
No. You're self-insured at that point.
Yeah.
So what I do is I teach people how to save money, have life insurance until they have enough money saved, and then say, all right, thank you very much. We didn't need this anymore. And they drop it. So.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So you wouldn't say finessing the system, but reinsuring a safety net.
Right.
When it's time what I'm trying to say, when accidents do occur.
Right, and you do that through, in term insurance, we do that through a term insurance policy, but it's like any other insurance. You have insurance for your vehicle, you have insurance for your home, you have health insurance. Life insurance is no different, and you get it for a specific amount of time. Now, there are differences, and basically there's term insurance and there's whole life insurance. There are more, but just those are, but just to say all insurance is term insurance.
Okay.
Well, it's very interesting that they call it life insurance. And you're explaining that it really is income insurance.
Right.
Which is a whole lot different, because life insurance, ain't nobody going to insure that we're going to live forever.
Right.
That's guaranteed that it's going to come to an end at some point.
Right.
But an income insurance is really clearer. But I guess, people are marketers. So they use life insurance because that definitely, you need this forever to protect your life.
Yeah, and you don't. You do it until you have money saved. And that's why we teach people to buy term insurance and invest the difference. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
So you buy the term insurance for the term.
For 20,
and
30
then
years.
The difference that you have, you go ahead, you probably put in a Roth IRA or have your financial advisor.
Which would be me. I'm just saying.
Or
Sorry.
buy EXP stock.
There you go, right?
I can't say that. Because that would be called selling away. So I'm not doing that. I would invest it in a Roth IRA.
Roth IRA. Okay,
Yes.
that's awesome.
And the difference is, honestly, and I teach these differences, that there's a savings account. When there's a whole life insurance policy, they attach a savings account to it. And that's basically what they say you can borrow from your life insurance. That's what that means. There's this savings account that you can borrow from. But what they don't tell you is that the first 1 to 3 years, or first 1 to 8 years really, there's a zero balance in that savings account. And then once you do start accumulating some money in that account, it's about a 1 to 4% rate of return on that. Then if you need it for any reason, you have to borrow it, and you have to borrow it at 8% per year.
From yourself.
From yourself.
But you don't get the 8%.
No.
The insurance company gets the 8%. You get nothing.
And if you don't pay it back, it comes off the face value of your policy at death. So that's where a lot of people found themselves.
Until it goes to zero.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you go, ooh, I got no insurance.
Yep.
In which case you're back to term insurance.
Exactly. So what we teach people is to, like I said, buy term and invest the difference, but also teaching them that the whole life insurance policies that people are trying to sell, one is probably not going to be enough coverage for your family, and it's 3 times as expensive. So get something that is to replace your income until your youngest is out of school, college, more than likely, and that will pay off your home, pay off your debts, and leave your surviving spouse grieving happily instead of grieving and trying to figure out how they're going to pay the bills.
Grieving happily.
Yes.
Wow.
Man, I'm so happy now.
Yeah. It's like hit the lottery because I had good term insurance.
Yeah. So and I've seen both sides of the coin, quite honestly. The unfortunate, and this is the worst part. I really don't like the life insurance part of it, but I know it's necessary. And the very first death claim that I delivered, I was like 3 years in the business. And this man, he was 37 years old and bought my policy at 35 years old. So he didn't even have it really 2 years. But in that time frame, he developed stomach cancer and passed away very, very quickly. But when his wife cashed it in, she paid cash for a house, and she paid off all the vehicles, and she put money aside for college for her daughter, and then the rest she invested.
Yeah.
Wow.
How cool is to have
Wow,
a
that's
job where you can have some results to really help somebody?
And we
else?
still talk to this
That's
day.
a real testimony. Yeah.
Anytime I go to Warner Robins, and I have several of those, anytime I go to Warner Robins, I just knock on the door. I don't even have to call. I don't, because I helped her. And the funny thing is, when I got to her house, because they were strangers, I didn't know who they were until they became clients. So when I went to their house, she wasn't home yet, so he had me standing outside. He's like, my wife's not home, so just stand. I was like, that's fine, totally. She came up, she thought I was one of her daughter's friends. She walked right past me and walked inside. And actually, I'm older than her. But she thought I was a kid, just standing there. So finally, when we did put everything together, we became really good friends after that. Less than 2 years, he passed away.
So I'm curious how you got started in financial. I mean, you were in the military.
Yes, I did environmental engineering in the military, and I was getting out of the military, and I was actually getting my real estate license. I was working on, paid that $485, I think it was back then, and they send you the CDs. And I was actually working on my real estate license because everybody who gets out of the military does real estate. And there was a guy who came to I was living on base at the time. He came to fix my sink. He said, are you staying in? I was like, absolutely not. I'm getting out. And he said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. I'm starting real estate now. He said, well, my wife does something along those lines. You might want to check it out. And so she called me and she invited me to a meeting. And I just blew her off because I thought it was one of those things. Mm-hmm. And so she wasn't persistent. She just would call every once in a while, and she would just say, hey, we have a meeting, we want to come.
Free food.
And I said, so how long does it last? She said, it's about an hour, and then we have food afterwards. I said, well, you should have told me this 2 months ago. I would have been there. And when I got there, I just got there hoping to get a free meal. But the concepts that I was learning, like the rule of 72 and the debt snowball, getting out of debt, and learning how mutual funds actually work, and learning how the stock market works, and learning how banks work, I was like, how come I don't know this? How come none of this was taught to me by anybody, even my current agent who invests my money? I learned any of this from this guy, and I won't say the company, but I learned none of this. So as soon as I heard all of that stuff, I was like, if I don't know this, then my family doesn't know it. My friends don't know it. Nobody knows this. Mm-hmm. So I got licensed right away. So the first license I got was my life insurance license. And then I got my securities license about 6 months later and never looked back. Over a meal. This was all over a free meal.
Wow.
And so that was 20 years ago. And so that's how it got started. And then when I started to see how doing seminars and teaching people the concepts that I learned, like I said, the debt snowball and we call it debt stacking. And I will just say that Dave Ramsey actually worked with our company over 40 years ago. So everything that Dave Ramsey talks about, he got from us.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we teach. We teach debt stacking. We teach investing for the future, and even investing for just having play. I have play accounts, because I love to travel. Love, going to Israel again this year. So there's an account for that. And so I set those up for people, and they can relax. When people are not stressed about money, when people are out of debt, they relax. Their relationships are much better. And they can do more things. Imagine what the church would look like if people actually tithe. The whole church actually tithe. But we can't because we're in debt. We've spent more than what we make, or we're right there at it. So and that's because we're not taught. We're not taught this in school. And there's a reason for
that. Yeah, I don't know if we get into that today. But
there's a reason
that's
for
a whole nother can of worms there.
But that's what I teach. So I do free seminars. I go to churches and teach biblical principles of money. I go to schools. I go to pretty much anywhere. And I'll do a free seminar and teach what I was taught. And then from those seminars, people get free comprehensive financial plans.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I don't mean to cut it short, but how can the people get in contact with you, Ms.
You
Monica?
can contact me through my phone number is 478-714-0464 if you want any information on how to get out of debt, become properly protected, and financially independent. Or you can just email me at Monica Everett, the number 76 @gmail.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's another episode of the Dream Builders Podcast, where our mission is to help buyers, sellers, agents connect with their resources and knowledge to achieve their real estate goals. Again, my name is Joshua Ingram, and this podcast is sponsored by the Dream E.N.T Page Properties team, Real Estate for a Reason, and make real estate fun again. Y'all be blessed, and I'll catch you on the next episode.